Good morning, aspirants. Welcome to Believers IAS Academy. And in this particular video, we will be addressing one of the most important topic, or let's say the issue with respect to aspirants in this preparation. Most of the students, most of the aspirants, they fail after giving numerous attempts. They clear prelims, they clear mains, they probably reach the interview stage as well. And let's say even in the interview stage, even if they fail, they give it again. Maybe they might fail multiple times going to the interview stage or going to the main stage. But still, this is the case of, let's say, 2,000 to 3,000 students every year. Or let's say, even for that matter, 50,000 students. But I'll tell you, more than 5 lakh students, or even beyond that, who call themselves aspirants, they fail every day. And what is the reason? Just one reason, because they are not able to use their time smartly. Because the dream to become an IAS is not just, happen on that particular day when you clear the examination, be it prelims, mains, or interview. The preparation starts from the day one, and that preparation for someone would be 1 year before, or even 2 years before the examination date. And for some, there are, aspirants and even IAS officers who have cleared this examinations who have relentlessly prepared for even more than 5-6 years, right? So now, what has helped them all this while? Only thing is how to manage your time efficiently. So in this particular video, we will be, mostly talking about how to manage the aspirants' time in a particular day. And this particular video will be solely for the beginners, because those are the worst hit batch of the UPSC aspirants, because time and again it so happens that they lack awareness. So even before we talk about what should be one's schedule, what to study, what not to study, it is important to understand the pitfalls. So the first thing is important to know that aspirants don't fail due to lack of knowledge. I think many aspirants can actually relate, especially those who have actually given multiple mains, let's say even who have qualified to the interview stages also. So it's not just about the knowledge here. And if you try and understand, it's mostly the poor time discipline. And this time discipline, I'm directly talking about the routine that one follows. Because the knowledge, whatever you need in this examination, let's say is bare minimum. Of course, the syllabus is very huge, it's very humongous, you have to study a lot. But with respect to what a beginner thinks that he needs to study, let's say 100%. And also in this 100% of the syllabus, all that matters, let's say, is the 50% of it. So now I'm telling 50% because at the end of the day, when you analyze the PYQs of the UPSC examination, you will actually understand what I'm referring to. Because not every topic in your Lakshmikant is important. Of course, it is important from the Indian Constitution point of view, but from the examination point of view, absolutely not. You don't have to read line by line, cover to cover. Getting it? So ultimately, what matters is how your routine is with respect to understanding how better your knowledge should be and how your better the knowledge will be. And another most important aspect during this preparation is they get stuck in a loophole, a vicious cycle where they study, maybe they attend classes, maybe they are into self-study mode, and let's say 2 to 3 hours they get distracted, maybe a WhatsApp message, right, a notification ping from the Instagram, and just one see at the Instagram, like let's say one look at the Instagram will probably kind of waste 30 minutes. And then the very next stage is guilty. You feel absolutely down that, oh, I wasted my time. And now, just because you went through the Instagram And now because you are tired, now you feel that chalo, let's have one coffee, or let's say I'll go out, take a walk. So you went out, maybe rang one of your friends, maybe had a coffee. So the coffee which was supposed to which was supposed to end by 5 minutes or 10 minutes, will take 50 minutes. Now these two things together, 2 to 3 hours gone. But effectively, what have you done? Maybe studied only for, let's say, 1 hour. And also, some aspirants who call themselves aspirants, let's say 2 to 3 hours of classes, and soon after the class, this is it. By the time this happens, afternoon, you'll have your lunch, probably feel like sleeping because you feel you have already, spent 2 to 3 hours studying, and then automatically you wake up 4 o'clock in the evening, lose confidence. Are yaar, the whole day is gone. Let's say now, again I'll have another coffee. Maybe I'll take a walk. I'll go to gym. Then you come back, right? Already it is 7 o'clock. And by the time it is 7 o'clock, you feel the day is done. Chalo, kal kar lenge. Procrastinate. So it is very important to understand that UPSC is not just a test of knowledge. It's a test of routine. What your routine is, how you keep yourself busy the entire day, right? Because calling yourself an aspirant is not a side hustle that you do with respect to your career ambitions, and also with respect to how you take your life forward. It is a full-time job. Being an aspirant is a full-time job. Of course, working professionals, you just have to, like, you guys are the exceptional ones, and this video is especially for beginners who are actually trying to devote the entire day, or let's say the entire time for their preparation on a full-time basis. So for those students, you have to keep in mind that UPSC is not a side hustle. It's not a part-time thing. Your career, let's say, in order to become an IAS, you have to think that you have already become an IAS officer. Keep that in your mind. You know something called as manifestation? You got to manifest. Keep believing in yourself that yes, I have become an IAS. Get into that mode and then start preparing. So that automatically, even what you're doing today as an aspirant, attending classes and expected to study 10 to 12 hours, is actually a career in itself. You might feel, yes, we are not being paid. You might feel that, we are, let's say, simply sitting in a corner, secluded, trying to study. But no, you will know how that particular time, or let's say how that has actually, multiplied or compounded at the day when you actually give your prelims or your mains. So what exactly to do in that particular routine, right, is very important. So talking about the routine, now there are different type of aspirants. So we have full-time aspirants who devote let's say the entire day, whom I call beginners, or let's say people who are fully full in their full-on mode to attempt this examination. So they probably have 8 to 10 hours. We discussed college students who want to start very early, let's say with their college schedule, all they have is 4 to 6 hours. Working aspirants, of course, with the job and everything, they might get some 3 to 4 focused hours in a particular day. And let's say the entire weekend, let's say the Saturday and Sunday, they can utilize. Of course, for weekend professionals, if you want a video on how to manage your time, especially by actually working, please do use the comment section below. Do comment if you need a video on how to manage time with respect to preparing for UPSC for working professionals. So we will make a separate video on that, because whatever we will be telling here in this particular video will not hold good for a working aspirant. Okay. Moving on. See, ultimately, preparing doesn't also mean that you work hard like a donkey. We have a say, you work hard like a donkey, right? And also time and again, people who let's say cleared the examinations, the very one thing that you can hear from their mouth is what? the hard work. Correct? What is the very first thing that you hear from a topper's mouth? That hard work is the only key. But this does not mean that you simply pointlessly, work like a donkey, study like, there's, nothing else. Probably this is the last day. Of course, you have to study. But what to study, how to study? One simple way is the 80-20 rule. I think most of you might have heard the principle called as the Pareto's principle. What does this say? It says that 80% of the outcome or the result is obtained by just doing 20% of work. Okay? 80% of consequences are related to 20% of causes. Which means just by doing 20% of things, 20% of the important things, just by attempting or just by making sure that you attend the core 20% of anything, it can fetch you 80% of the result. This is not just related to UPSC. This holds good in any discipline, even software, even businesses. Let's say if you're trying to focus on 20% of the very good leads, the clients, you will actually be generating more than 80%, or let's say majority of the revenue will be from that 20% of the clients, right? And similarly, in this UPSC examination, there are few areas, the core areas, which you need to focus that can actually give you 80% of the results. This idea is very important. Else, everything will look, very tiring. It's like running a marathon, just running a marathon without having an end line. Or let's say you're running a 1,600 meters, kind of a race, 3,000 meter race, but not on the track. You're supposed to run the race in this track. But what you're doing, you're just running elsewhere. Will there be an end line? Will there be a finish? No. And what is the end result? You'll just get exhausted. And ultimately, the blame is on the examination. Of course, examination is difficult. But with the right amount of hard work, in the right amount of areas, like for example, NCRTs, very important. Very, very important. There was a time when NCRTs, was ignored. In fact, even till date, most of the students ignore. For them, studying polity is Lakshmikant, right? Studying polity is Lakshmikant. But just open previous year's question paper and just see, at least there are 2 to 3 questions directly from NCRTs. And even for that matter, the conceptual clarity that you get by doing NCRTs, it is unimaginable. You cannot compare it with anything. And also, PYQs. Most of the students never even, touch PYQs. Not even a single aspirant in their very first attempt would have actually thought of analyzing the PYQs in the right way. Of course, people would have went through the PYQs. They might have read the questions. But it is not about reading the PYQs. It is about analyzing them. Reading the PYQs is different. Analyzing the PYQ is different. So if you need a video on how to analyze PYQs, of course, please let us know in the comment section. We'll make a video separately subject wise on the PYQs as well. And later, test series. And at the end, revisions. Now, if you see this and the mains part talks about the other papers, your ethics, your essay, GS2, 3, current affairs, right? And here we only mean that whatever energy that you're putting in this preparation should focus on the core areas, which can actually give you what? more results. And for that, the most important thing is the NCRTs from the prelims point of view and PYQs for both mains and also your prelims point of view, test series for both prelims and mains point of view, revisions for the entire examination, prelims, mains, even for that matter, your interview. So these are the important things. Okay, and doing this, it is also very important to keep in mind that you are not supposed to chase every source. Getting it? So you're trying to read a newspaper, you're following the Hindu. Why do you want to go read the Indian Express? When you have so many things to do, you have an optional paper to read. Or let's say even you have finished your optional paper, try writing answers. Why read an extra newspaper? For God's sake, I'm really against anybody who reads 2 newspapers in this UPSC preparation. It might be controversial, it might be very extreme, but with the time you get, trust me, reading 1 newspaper is also kind of very stressful. And also, what people do, you tried reading a particular topic, you didn't understand, you watched a YouTube video, just leave it there. No, again you want to watch another video, again you want to watch another video. See, you're not trying to read or study the UPSC to become a scholar in these subjects. This is an examination, treat it like an exam, okay, and then approach the examination with that mindset, so that ultimately your goal is to clear the exam, become an IAS, not a scholar in any of the subjects that you study. Of course, after becoming an IAS officer, you will have time to probably pursue higher education. Then you can become a scholar. You can do PhD also. You will have time. But if literally you wanted to do PhD in all of these subjects, why come to this UPSC preparation, call yourself an aspirant and waste 1 to 2 years of your precious youth time? No point, right? So the go-to mantra is to stick to minimal resources, and from that minimal resources you have to increase or maximize the revisions. Okay, so now that we have understood the importance of the efforts that you put in your preparation, this is one simple sample of how a daily routine of an aspirant looks like. Of course, this is very subjective. A lot of people can have their own kind of a routine, because few people, they prefer reading during nights. We call them night owls. They burn the midnight oil. And then we have early risers. Okay, and early risers, I can even think of people who wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and then they start studying, right? But this is the average UPSC aspirant, or let's say a healthy UPSC aspirant, who would wake up at 5:30 or let's say 6 o'clock. So this plan is basically for them. Okay, so now we'll just take a look at how a routine should look like for an aspirant, especially for a beginner. So the very first thing, you wake up in the morning, of course, after all the natural kriyas that you do, the very first thing you have to do is catch hold of that one subject. The one subject which is actually very difficult to you. Because this is the time when your mind is very fresh. No matter what you read, your mind is in a state to grasp that very easily. So 6 to 8, 2 hours, give it diligently for that one subject. For many of the students, this could be economy, especially people who do not come from the economy background. And for most of the students, it could be history, to remember the facts, to understand the nuances. And for few people it is geography, right? And for few, let's say it could be their optional paper, maybe they are starting right away. Okay, so the first subject should always be the difficult subject. Of course, this is for those students who wake up in the morning, let's say 5:30, 6 o'clock, they start their studies. And then later, 2 hours of rigorous study for this. So here you're basically reading, let's say, your class notes, or probably, making notes out of the standard books, or probably, you're also kind of, doing more revisions, or let's say, this is solely to that particular subject to read, because in this particular timetable, the whole day you have time to even take tests. So to start with, an aspirant, when he actually begins, this is the thing he needs to do. And this could also be the subject that they have attended yesterday's class. Understanding? Now after this, 8 to 9 devoted for newspaper, and preferably one newspaper, either Hindu or the Indian Express. And of course, if you need a video on how to watch the newspaper, it is already available on a YouTube channel. You can just go check it out. And after 9 o'clock, 9 to 9:30, cut that time short for your breakfast. Half an hour is more than sufficient. Take a small walk, come back, sit with your optional paper. Very important. Optional paper is the most important paper in the UPSC examination, only from the point, the marks point of view. Because those two papers put together is 500. Humongous share of the entire, the humongous share of the marks of the entire means is with your optional paper. Okay, so and that becomes very important. So 3 hours. 3 hours for your optional paper, give it. So now, the very first half, you have actually finished 2 of the difficult papers. One is the difficult one, another one is the most important one. So half of the day is, already done. And in this half day, you have actually finished, let's say, 80% of the important, core area of the syllabus, of the UPSC syllabus. That is one difficult paper from your point of view, and the other one, the important paper from the UPSC's, exam point of view. Then afterwards, 12 to 1:30, take a break, and then 1 to 3:30, 1:30 to 3:30, after your lunch. Let's say you can even take a nap, but between this 12:30 to 1:30, 15 minutes have your lunch, take a 45-minute nap. Anything beyond 45 is not called as nap. In fact, 20 minutes is a nap, but beyond 45 it is not called as nap. So just make sure you do take a nap. UPSC aspirants who are doing full-time preparation, you must take a nap. It is like a refresh button to your entire system. Okay, so after that, 1:30 to 3:30, devote for answer writing. Any GS paper, let's say you're doing polity. Once you're done polity, maybe let's say you did the first part, right? Preamble, making of the Constitution, salient features of the Indian Constitution, DPSP, fundamental rights. Take a test. And here specifically, I mean mains test. See, ultimately for a beginner, your main agenda is to try and finish your main syllabus within December, so that after December, even if you are devoting your time for prelims is achievable. You can do prelims. But after you do prelims, the time you get is very less. So in that time, trying to do mains, impossible. And even if you have notes ready with you, still if you have not practiced answer writing, the whole preparation is of nothing. The whole 1.5 years, let's say you started your preparation in January 2025. Okay, and all the way May 2026, you'll give your prelims, and after that you will have your mains examination, let's say in the month of August 2026, right? So here if you fail in the month of August, the entire preparation from January till August, 1.5 years, wasted. As in, not in terms of what you have studied, but the chance that you could have otherwise utilized and probably gotten a ticket to your interview will completely just go wasted. Why? Because today, let's say we are this is July today. So today you did not start doing the mains answer writing. How difficult it is to spend 2 hours writing answers. So this time, please devote it for answer writing, because that is the time, after your lunch, you kind of feel lethargic. But once you start writing answers, probably, it's kind of, it'll keep you active. It'll keep you active, and also, after continuous reading in, throughout the day from the morning till the afternoon, now is the time you're actually, recollecting and, reproducing. So there has to be 3 things in your preparation. Another important thing in this preparation is 3R. One is read, another one is recollect, then reproduce. So the first half, you're only reading. And many of the aspirants, the entire year, they keep on reading, not able to recollect, not able to reproduce, not happening. This exam is not your game. So spend this time for recollecting and reproducing, and that can happen only when you write answers. And afterwards, very important, 3:30 to 4:30, review your answers. Whatever answers you have written, just open the model answers, synopsis, just verify your answer, and if there are any value additions required for the answer that you have written, do it. Make a separate note. No, don't make a separate note. Keep a booklet specifically to write answers. Just add alongside the booklet. Sufficient. Okay. Then after 4:30, you can take a break. And this break is solely for any physical activity. This is also very important. Most overlooked aspect of this preparation. You have to indulge in some sport, any game, even a brisk walk, 30 minutes. Okay, absolutely required. So 4:30 to 6:30, take a break, freshen up, have a coffee, do everything, all of that. Now 6:30 to 8:30, keep it for subject 2, and this subject, let it be very light. The subject that you love, the subject that is very easy to you. Maybe you can also do revisions. Okay, all this is possible. And now this is for someone who is not attending the classes. Now let's say someone is attending the classes. So basically this 6:30 to 8:30, or even 3 hours will go for classes. Now if you calculate in this whole day, how much have you actually spent? What is the total So actually, if you see, by doing or following that plan, you would have actually utilized or spent more than 10 to 12 hours, because morning sorry for this inconvenience. Yeah, so from morning 6 to 8, I've already spent 2 hours. 8 to 9, you have already spent 1 hour. Then again 9:30 to 1:30, almost 3 hours. 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 12:30, 3 hours. And then 12:30 to 1:30, you're taking a nap. And then even let's say you started from 1:30 all the way till 4:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, once again another 3 hours. So if you just calculate here, it's already 9 hours. It's already 9 hours. Upon that, you'll be spending another 2 hours for that light subject of yours, and or plus 1 more hour for your classes if you are attending. So this is how the routine should be of any aspirant. In a day, including classes or even excluding classes, you have to be studying anywhere around 10 to 12 hours in the initial days. It is absolutely required. Okay. So now that we have understood how the routine of an aspirant should be, now the question is how to plan. Of course, in planning, you have two things. One is a weekly plan, which talks about the entire vision of that particular week. As in, you have to have an idea that this particular week, what am I going to do? So, we'll look at that as well. So, let's say this particular week, as in like the next week, let's say this particular plan on a weekly basis has to be happened or prepared on a Sunday. So what are you going to do? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you need to have a complete overview as to what you will be doing in this particular day. Now coming back to the same routine that we said you will be doing, you will be actually following the optional paper, correct? You'll be doing one subject. Let's say here I will keep polity, and let's say other subject that you're doing is history, correct? So these are the three subjects, and then you'll be also doing answer writing, correct? And classes, though, it is definitely there. You will just be following the schedule. But as a whole, from Monday to the next Saturday, you should have a target in your mind that polity, I'll be, let's say if you have started like just then, you have to keep in mind that at least these 2 days, you have to keep in mind, you have to set a target that I'll be finishing first 2 chapters of polity, including notes. Then Wednesday and Thursday, I'll be doing, let's say, fundamental rights till DPSP. And let's say Friday and Saturday, you should also have a plan where you can even incorporate tests. Let's say Friday, I will completely revise this, and then Saturday, I'll give a test. This is just for polity. And then for history, even optional paper. So what you will be doing in this entire week, you should already have a set plan as a vision as to what I'll be doing this, and that is always better you do it on a Sunday. And once you prepare that plan, the daily plan is also required, and daily plan will be incorporated with what we did in the previous slide, what we showed, where you will just focus on the execution. So you're not planning anything. So you have already planned. So now you're just doing what you have actually planned for the entire week. Getting it? So make sure, to include GS topics in them. We have already discussed. One optional paper, absolutely required. Essay or answer writing, bare minimum, you have to do it. And one mock test, very important. Okay? And even when making this, few things very important that you have to avoid is multitasking. So what is multitasking? Answer writing, YouTube, WhatsApp. Ultimately, the end result is disaster. So answer writing, you are writing answers simultaneously. What you do? You take out the question, you are trying to write an answer, and after the answer is done, now you just look for that particular answer evaluation, or let's say you search for that particular question's answer on Google, and let's say doing so, you will not know, you would have landed on YouTube, and seeing that analysis video which is like goes for about 30-40 minutes, you will instantly come to a shorts, and then unknowingly keeps on going. Ultimately, disaster. So multitasking, absolutely not advised. And even multitasking here, I mean that you shouldn't be even including too many subjects also. Not more than 2 subjects in a day, excluding optional, the GS, not more than 2. And also, even when you keep these 2 subjects, always make sure you keep something that is practical with a theoretical paper. For example, polity, you can study it with, let's say, geography. History, you can study it alongside economy. I'm just giving you an example, else you will be too overwhelmed, overburdened. Okay? Next one, excessive content hopping. We discussed this already. So you want to understand what demand pull inflation is. You went to watch that particular video. Fine, you watch it on any platform, you finish it. Once you're done understanding, leave it. You're not trying to become a scholar in that particular subject, as I already mentioned. Once you understood, digest it, leave it. Make notes, leave it. Don't try to watch another video on that. Okay? And then watching hours of toppers interviews, most important. Most important. One topper, two toppers sufficient. And even when you watch the toppers video, watch those videos where they have actually analyzed their answer copies. Don't watch the strategies, please. Every strategy is different. What they did with respect to the particular papers and all of that. If you are in a particular coaching center, any given coaching center, you follow their plan because you're part of that institute. They have a particular plan. They have a set plan. They know what exactly they will be doing today. Let's say today is this month is July, so they'll have a plan. July, this is the plan that we have going forward. By December, this is what we will do, provided you follow everything what we say here. Now let's say students, what they do, they join a particular coaching institute, and then now the resources are available multiply in various platforms, right? They watch them. So the institute might have started with GS1, and let's say that particular platform on YouTube says GS4 is important, let's start with GS4. Now you are confused. Okay? So even trying to put it in a nutshell, watching toppers has, please do watch answer writing copies, as in how they have written their answers. There is no harm in seeing the answer copies of toppers, but please try limiting the videos of toppers interviews. Okay? And last, very importantly, please sleep. There is no hard and fast rule, or there is no shortcut. You will definitely take at least 1.5 to 2 years clearing this examination. So it is highly unrealistic to tell that every day in this entire journey of 1.5 to 2 years, I will just sleep for 4 hours. What's the point? IAS ban gaya, the very 6 months later, mar gaya aadmi. No point. Very important, physical well-being, mental well-being. Only if those two things go hand in hand, your preparation also will be smooth and sound. So at the end, we should also not ignore the revisions, very important. So first revision, better to do it within 24 hours. Let's say you attended the classes today, the very day you finish the revisions of that particular thing. Second revision of that particular subject must happen within 7 days. Why? Because once you just go beyond 7 days, you will actually forget what you have actually made notes on. Now again, in order to read your own notes, you will have to again refer to your standard book. That again takes double of what, double the time as to what you have actually taken probably in the first reading. Because now you're reading it from the standard book, from your notes, which obviously you're not understanding. So now again, you're trying to make a note in your notes to make it more understandable the next time probably when you read. And now you feel that my notes has become completely shabby. Now you are taking out another note and you're making a fresh notes. No. So revision is the very most important thing in this examination. Even if you are not reading multiple sources, read the same source multiple times. Okay, revisions. Very important, the duration within 24 hours, that particular day you have attended the classes. Before sleeping, just read 1 hour. Just 1 hour, skim through it. Then revisit to that particular topic 7 days later. Within 7 days, not anything beyond that. And third revision must and should be happening within 1 month of the subject's completion. Okay. So at the end, we also have to talk about various platforms where you can actually make your notes or track your progress. So it is very important to maintain a daily journal of your preparation. I'm not talking about writing personal diaries. Make a journal of your preparation. Like, you had a plan, you had a routine, did you follow? As in, even if you have not followed, why didn't you follow? Everything should be recorded so that you can introspect and work on it. Make sure you have certain check boxes. Let's say in that particular weekly plan, what you're supposed to do on Monday, once it is done, check it, or let's say even cut it. And even on that particular day, let's say 6 to 8, you finished subject 1. Okay, strike it. But do write it somewhere, not on a sheet of paper. Keep a book, write it, so that after 1.5 weeks, or let's say even after 1.5 months, even if you feel like quitting this preparation, the moment you see this sheet, automatically you will feel, no, I have done something. I have literally done something. And the plan that you will actually prepare will show where you have reached. Let's say you have started making a plan from July all the way till May 2026, the day you will be actually writing the prelims exam. Let's say in the month of September, you see your logbook. And let's say this is also the time when you felt very tired, very exhausted, feeling what you're doing. All my friends are landed with a job, with a good package, people are getting married. What am I doing? You literally feel like quitting. You'll actually feel, अरे यार मैं कर रहा हूँ लेकिन पता नहीं क्या कर रहा हूँ. I'm just going elsewhere and the whole world is going elsewhere. Then you just open your logbook and see what you have done in this 3 months. You will actually get to know you're just only this much closer to achieving your dream. And if, let's say, this is in the month of December, you're just 5 months away from achieving your dream. So this is an indication, gives you an idea how much or where exactly you're standing. And this is like an indirect motivation to you as well. Gives that intrinsic motivation. Okay? Most important. So at the end, to sum everything up, okay? It's not how much time you have. It's how you use what you have. Because UPSC at the end, it respects consistency more than the intensity. So if you are watching any toppers video, now try and analyze. What are they talking about? Are they talking about, more number of books that you're supposed to read, hard work? And even if they're talking about hard work, what exactly is it? Consistency, and not the intensity with which you do it. Consistency. Make a habit to daily sit, no matter what. Daily sit. Make a plan. Make a routine. Okay? So yeah, this is all for this particular video. And for more such interesting videos, please do follow our YouTube channel. And if there are any such suggestions, or let's say you want topics, or let's say videos on any particular topic, similar topics on how to make your preparation better and easy, please do comment and we will make a video on that as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Signing off. This is Madan Gopal. Have a great day.